on this breezy evening here in Miami. The Marlins and the Arizona Diamondbacks in Game 2 of a 4-game set. And yes, that is an open roof. A retractable roof up over the plaza. Ichiro fan coming in. Ichiro himself is already in. David Peralta had the deciding blow. A 13-inning win last night for the Diamondbacks, and Marcell Ozuna is back in the lineup, back with the ball club. He is starting and in the cleanup spot. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz along with Tommy Hutton. Yesterday, the story was Dan Jennings. Today, the story is Miami needs to snap a losing streak.
Well, that's exactly right. You come home for this homestand of 10 games. You're hoping to turn things around after a 4-6 road trip. You're hoping things turned out a little bit better. All of a sudden, you have a different manager, and you've lost 4 in a row.
This was to be a Jared Cozart start until the Marlins announced last night they've put him on the disabled list with vertigo.
Yeah, there's a couple of things to think about. Remember, Cozart came out of his last game just a little bit of a cramp in the hamstring. I don't think that's an issue because he actually had a throw day in between and threw the ball pretty well. But vertigo is a tough thing to deal with, so he's out tonight. Hey, the versatile Tom Kohler pitched 3 innings out of the bullpen on Saturday and was very good against Atlanta, 2 hits and no runs. His last start, he also was very good in Los Angeles against the Dodgers. 6 innings, just 3 hits and a run.
It is an email and Twitter Tuesday, and we found the perfect pitcher for that night, and that's Jeremy Hellickson. He does not work at a rather quick pace.
No, he doesn't. You see those starts. One start against the Marlins was here at Marlins Park. In 4 1/3 innings, he walked 7 batters. Couple of 28-year-olds. I think one works a little slower than the other.
Former American League Rookie of the Year. First home run in the big leagues. It's always special. And for JT Realmuto, it was a big one last night. And we'll get ready for your tweets and emails. Game on. Down below, Jessica Blaylock. Jess?
Well, Rich, last night was a big night for one Marlins player in particular. That would be catcher JT Realmuto. Realmuto hit his first ever home run of his career, and it was a big one. It came in the bottom of the 7th inning off of Ruby De La Rosa, and it tied up the game at the time because it was a 2-run blast. Realmuto continues to prove that he can give this team quality at-bats. In addition to his home run, he now has 8 RBIs on the season, and he's playing great defense as well. His teammates certainly excited to celebrate that milestone with Realmuto. And after the game, he received that home run ball encased in glass for him to remember the night by. Here's what he had to say about that piece of memorabilia.
Jeffrey Lurie did this for me. He brought it to me right after the game, so that was pretty cool of him to do.
That is neat, and to look at that in the first major league home run, that's it's pretty neat, right? I mean,
it's pretty awesome. Absolutely. I mean, it's something that I'll remember obviously for the rest of my life, and being able to have the actual ball, it's going to be cool to show my kids, my grandkids. So it was pretty exciting.
And it is Tuesday, so you know what that means. It is an email and Twitter Tuesday. We'll be taking all of your comments and questions all night long on any subject you would like. You can send those tweets to @FoxMarlins. Your emails can go to foxmarlins@gmail.com. Be sure to use tonight's special hashtag. That would be Twitter Tuesday. When we do return, it is Game 2 between the Marlins and the Diamondbacks. Miami looking for its first win in this series, and they will have Tom Kohler on the mound to try and do it. You're watching Marlins baseball on Fox Sports Florida.
Let's go places by Florida Coast Equipment, Florida's largest Kubota dealer. Visit us at www.floridacoasteq.com. And by AutoNation, save on over 70,000 vehicles now. Visit AutoNation.com. Roof is open on a Twitter and email Tuesday. And the Diamondbacks winners last night in a game that took 13 innings. Here's their lineup as penned by Chip Hale, their brand new skipper. It's brought to you by JM Lexus. Ender Inciarte is in center. Mark Trumbo up in the 2 spot, followed by Paul Goldschmidt. Those are 2 potent bats right back to back. And then you got David Peralta, who had the big hit last night. There's Manny Tomas, the third baseman, the Cuban. Chris Owings is at second. Tuffy Gosewich, the catcher. Nick Ahmed, good glove at short. And Jeremy Hellickson hits 9th.
You know, the one thing, Rich, I really I admire about Tom Kohler, he didn't like when he was sent to the bullpen, but he knew that was his job, and he didn't make any complaints outwardly. And here he is back in the rotation. Somehow things seem to work out that way. He's had 3 starts in his career against Arizona, 1-1, 1-2 with an ERA of 6. But he's last 2 times out, he's thrown the ball really well. He had that relief outing against Atlanta, 3 innings, just 2 hits and no runs, and that was on Saturday, so that would have been like his throw day. And then his last start in Los Angeles, a loss, but he gave up just 3 hits and a run in 6 innings to the Dodgers.
BMW presents Miami's defense tonight.
We'll welcome back Marcell Ozuna, who had a personal family issue that he had to attend to in the ballgame last night. Yelich and Stan flank Ozuna. Prado, Echeverria, what a great double play, and plays we've seen from those 2 guys up the middle this year. Michael Morse in the lineup at first base, and JT Realmuto behind the plate.
Weather is delightful. Temperatures 80 degrees, humidity not too bad, and the gentle breeze might play a role in tonight's ball game with the rolling windows open as well as the roof. The wind generally comes in through the windows down onto the field, and if it comes up over the roof and down in, sometimes, much like the ballpark in Arlington, you can get a swirling wind that shoots back out towards the outfield. Tom Kohler, Ender Inciarte, ready to go. Ball game tonight in Miami. Tom Kohler fires a strike. Pinch Penny brings you that first pitch. As Tommy pointed out, Kohler excellent in relief his last time out and excellent in his last start at Dodger Stadium. Inciarte knocks it foul and out of play. Inciarte led off last night. He was 1 for 5 in a game in which Dan Herron and Ruby De La Rosa, the 2 starters, worked not only very effectively but very quickly. Up the middle into center field. Inciarte opens with a hit. In fact, last night it was the fastest 13-inning game since 1989.
We would get a gold star from the commissioner.
Well, Dan Herron and Ruby De La Rosa would get the stars, I would think.
Yes.
And both bullpens were really good until the Marlins finally coughed up a run in the 13th. There's Trumbo in the 2 spot. And that pitch fouled off of JT Realmuto. Dan Jennings, game 2. And certainly the hope for the Marlins skipper is to get win number 1. And I think for this ball club as well, important to play well the rest of this series to take the focus off of Dan Jennings and get themselves righted. The Fish have not only dropped 4 in a row, they've dropped to the basement of the East.
Well, the Phillies are on a tear. They've won 6 straight.
Trumbo hits it to center. Marcell Ozuna ventures back. And Ciarte's tagging. Ozuna makes the catch, and he goes halfway and sees the throw and heads back.
Well, not only 4 in a row, they've lost 7 out of 8 and 11 of 15. But in the meantime, as I mentioned, the Phillies have gotten hot.
There's the standings. The Mets, extra inning winners last night. Washington, the Marlins saw them just starting to get hot, and the Marlins obviously had a great opportunity to win 2 of 3 in Washington. The Braves are just a game under 500.
Well, you see those standings. The Marlins have lost 3 games in the standings since they've returned home. Remember the first night against Atlanta, the Marlins were 4 games out of first place. Now they're 7. And there's a reason for that too, Rich. When you look at the National League East, the Mets, the Nationals, the Braves, we mentioned Philadelphia's 6 straight wins. The Mets, Nationals, and Braves have all won 3 straight.
Ciarte back with the dive. Paul Goldschmidt, he was 1 for 5 last night. Diamondbacks really didn't have anybody crush the ball save Yosmani Tomas. He was 3 for 5 and drove in 2 of their 3 runs. Rookie manager Chip Hale put the game in motion a few times last night. David Peralta had the deciding hit in that 13th inning. Did he go? No swing. That's Bruce Dreckman at first base. Dan Bellino's calling balls and strikes. Tom Hallion, veteran umpire, out at second. Alfonso Marquez is at third.
Very close.
That's a strike.
Goldschmidt last year hit by a pitch. First time he had to go on a disabled list in his career. Had a broken hand. Consequently, didn't play a full season, 109 games for Goldschmidt.
In the air, right center and shallow. And it's Ozuna who makes the catch. This is an email and a Twitter Tuesday. Might as well throw out the ceremonial first email. It's from Cameron in West Palm Beach. Do you think the Marlins record, and the Fish right now at 16-23 in a 4-game losing streak, is a result of managing, or is it the players' lack of performance?
You could go through many different positions and spots on the roster and point to underperformance.
David Peralta now.
You know, the Diamondbacks have a lot of...
Runner going. Kohler got him on the tag. Echeverria lunging.
Good reactions on the delayed steal.
And a nice play by Echeverria to seal the out. Miami's lineup is brought to you by JM Lexus. D. Gordon leads it off. Martin Prado in the 2 spot. Giancarlo Stanton is in right. Marcell Ozuna hits cleanup. JT Realmuto's homer last night tied the game at 2. Christian Yelich still slumping in left. Michael Morse trying to get the bat going at first. Danny Echeverria in the 8 spot. And Tom Kohler hits 9th.
There's a 28-year-old right-hander, Jeremy Hellickson. The Marlins have seen him before. When they saw him before, he was in a Tampa Bay Rays uniform.
Not many 0 for 5s for D. Gordon this year, and he was 0 for 5 last night. And he fouls that one back into the seats.
A little bit of a tailspin, just 2 for his last 14, but you know, you expect that, and you just hope that D makes a couple of little adjustments and gets back on track.
Breaking ball from Hellickson. 4th round pick by the Rays out of high school in Des Moines, Iowa. That breaking ball pulled foul, and it's 1-2. And Hellickson's still trying to iron out the remnants of elbow surgery. He had it last year at the beginning of the season, loose bodies in the elbow. As a result, he made just 13 starts. He was 1-5 with an ERA over 4. And that ERA is not something he's had when he was pitching for the Rays. He was very good with them.
They should have a guy pitch on Zombie Night that has loose bodies in his elbow. He's got that slurvy, not a 12-6, but 11-5 curve ball. As you have mentioned, and as we've talked about, very slow paced out there. Got a very good changeup. Hey, he was good enough to be Rookie of the Year in 2011.
A deluxe changeup.
A deluxe changeup, yeah.
I like that. Trying to bunt with 2 strikes, and D. Gordon fouls it off. And he had a pitch that he wanted to bunt, too. So it goes as a strikeout.
We're talking about the Diamondbacks, very interchangeable with some of their outfielders and infielders. Peralta, Inciarte, and Trumbo in the outfield. Ahmed and Owings. Now that's a different double play combo than they had last night. Tomas and Goldschmidt at the corners, and Gosewich behind the plate.
Here's Martin Prado. As you would expect with the managerial change, email and Twitter Tuesday, the inbox is filling up with a lot of fans' comments and opinions on that. Here's the 0-1. This is from Nems. Nems Pit Stop says Dan Jennings needs to start holding players accountable, or else nothing's going to change.
No, I think that's absolutely right. You have to be accountable for what you do as a player.
Prado sends that one into the seats, and it's 0-2.
Now, you've had a couple of emails and a tweet. I got a tweet from Abby. My dad doesn't have a Twitter because he ain't hip, but he says go Marlins as we sit here watching the game together. It's not too late, Dad. You can get that Twitter account.
So she has her own Twitter account, is what you're saying. 1-2. Henderson Alvarez watching. Marlins rotation undergoing a few twists and turns along the way. Dan Jennings, second day on the job. Prado, little tapper out to short. Ahmed gets the out, and here comes Giancarlo Stanton. This was supposed to be a Jared Cozart start. He's on the 15-day disabled list, retroactive to May 14th due to vertigo. Carter Capps has been called up. So Capps joins the bullpen with Cozart going on the DL and Kohler getting this start. Now it's Stanton against Hellickson. Knee-high fastball for a strike. Stanton last night was 0 for 4 with a walk.
There is Carter Capps. And I think especially with the 13-inning game last night, the way the bullpen was used, you want another arm down there. Two and 1 to Stanton.
There is a breeze in the ballpark right now, and this is really a unique park for wind, with the rolling windows open and the roof open. This is the 35th time in its history the game has started with the roof open. Hellickson changeup misses in.
You know, when a little bit of the humidity goes away, when the rain showers disappear for a while, it's a beautiful sight. I think the first time for the Diamondbacks playing a game here with the roof open.
3-2 coming. Stan hits it way, way up and way, way foul. Kane, Arizona has an email. Just for you, Tommy Hutton. Why would D. Gordon bunt with 2 strikes?
We've seen him try it a couple of times, and the reason he tries it with 2 strikes, the third baseman usually moves back a little bit. They come in so much before 2 strikes. It's tough to drop down a bunt.
Stan swings and misses. Hellickson gets a strikeout
On the deluxe changeup.
It was a deluxe changeup. Scoreless after 1.
West Kendall Toyota.
Roof open. Marlins and Diamondbacks arrive here in the second, scoreless. An Ender Inciarte base hit. The only hit, and he was caught stealing in a very delayed steal. David Peralta's back at the plate. Tom Kohler delivers. It's fouled back to the screen.
You had a good tweet. You were reading in between innings.
Yes, it's from Nick. Actually, an email. If either of you were managing last night's game, do you take Cishek out after his first successful inning so his confidence is restored, or do you run him out there for 2 innings? Steve Cishek last night pitched the 12th, scoreless. He got a really nice play on a double play by D. Gordon, and then came out and pitched the 13th. Gave up a hit to Chris Owings and an RBI double to David Peralta. Nice play by Kohler, who gets to the bat. So I'll let you answer that one.
All right, there are a couple of thoughts. Number one, the thought on because he had a successful inning is a good one. You see that happen occasionally. But you also get a feel for a game. You don't know how long that game's going to last. And A.J. Ramos had thrown an inning. Dyson had given you 2. You're happy when one of those guys down there, how many times do we talk about and complain that a relief pitcher only pitches 1 inning? You're happy when you can get 2. And again, because of the 13th inning, you don't know how long that game's going to go. You don't want to blow through everybody in the bullpen.
So there you go, Nick. Thanks for your email. Yasmani Tomas, 3 hits last night. Tomas is a big guy. It's one of the things you see with a lot of the Cuban players. Thick, strong. 6'2", 255 is Tomas. He's having a nice road trip. His ball club isn't, but he is. 7 for 14. Double homer, and he's driven in 3. The Diamondbacks were swept in Philly before winning yesterday here in Miami 3-2. Got an email from Atlantis. during a game, this is from Bill, during a game, when a team is in the field, do the rules require players other than the catcher to wear a cap? If yes, could a player wear the cap backward?
No.
If he did, he would anger Buck Showalter. I remember working in Seattle, that was a point of contention between Showalter and Ken Griffey Jr. Jr. liked to wear the cap backwards.
Yes, he did.
Not during a game, but every now and then batting practice or whatever. And Showalter, a by-the-book guy. That pitch misses down low.
Pretty good pitch.
Tomas is aboard. Tomorrow night is a Kids Eat Free Wednesday at Tommy's house. All you kids up in Palm Beach, go to Tommy's house and you eat free. Marlins Diamondbacks 7-10 here at Marlins Park. Kids 12 and under. With a ticket, get a coupon for a free KM Beef Frank bag of Frito-Lay chips, small Pepsi or Aquafina water. Go to marlins.com. Tomas walks. Here's
no
Chris
snake
Owens.
on the menu, though.
No. Let's hope not. In the air. And Morse is there, and he makes the catch. We will see Buck Showalter on Friday night.
Yes, we will. The Orioles in town. I was going to mention a little different on fly balls and pop flies with the roof open. Because of the wind, all of a sudden you're dealing with the elements and you're dealing with the wind swirling, and you got to make sure you know that. Obviously, with the roof closed, you don't have to worry about that. Tell you, pitching here at Marlins Park too is where Tom Kohler has excelled. 4 games, 3 starts. His ERA is 2.11. That's the good news. Where he has to step it up this year is to turn things around on the road. On the road, an ERA over 6.
Chuck Hernandez watching Kohler. Tuffy Gosewich goes around. And it's 1-1. 2 outs. Yasmani Tomas is at first. Tom Kohler was out of the rotation for less than a week. And it's ironic, too, because as you talked about Kohler's relief appearance, it came because of the line drive that hit Matt Latos in the ankle. And the immediate thought there, especially having watched Latos being helped off the field and in tremendous pain, was, well, Kohler probably would just take Latos' spot in the rotation his next start. Latos' ankle is good.
He's on track.
He'll make the start.
He'll pitch the final game of this series on Thursday.
On the ground, Gordon there at Chavarria. Across in time. Marcell Ozuna missed yesterday's ball game. He leads off in the bottom of the second. with the Marlins. Follow at Fox Marlins on Twitter and Instagram. Exclusive behind-the-scenes Marlins coverage straight from Fox Sports Florida telecast. And of course, it's email Twitter Tuesday tonight. So get them in. That was like who had the Batman shoes on last night? Who was the?
It was a young pitcher, Lance McCullers.
That's right.
Lance McCullers Jr.
Houston.
Taking a page out of the. I mean, could there be a Dark Knight in Houston and New York?
Well, maybe Robin.
Yeah.
But that's a whole different outfit. Marcell Ozuna, family emergency took him away from the club yesterday. He's returned. And he's in the cleanup spot. JT Realmuto, Christian Yelich will follow. Jeremy Hellickson, who spent 10 years in the Rays organization, came to Arizona for 2 prospects. Ozuna takes a strike. It's 1-2.
Yeah, back in 2009, he was the Rays minor league pitcher of the year. Pitched in Double-A and Triple-A that season.
He had really, for a guy that hasn't been in the big leagues long, has a really nice resume. Before he got to the big leagues, he was Baseball America's minor league pitcher of the year. Gets to the big leagues, wins Rookie of the Year. The next year, he shared a Gold Glove in the American League with Jake Peavy.
Which is an oddity in itself, to tie for a Gold Glove.
Ozuna pulls it to third. Tomas backing up. Across the diamond, just nips Ozuna. Brings up JT Realmuto. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Marlins may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Accounts and descriptions of this game, may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Marlins. Realmuto, nice moment last night, 7th inning. Got his first major league homer. He drives that one to left. Peralta has room, comes in and makes the catch.
Have a tweet, Rich, concerning Christian Yelich, who's stepping in to hit. It's from Joel at Hurricanes 1211. Is Christian Yelich trying too hard? Maybe pressure from the new contract. You know, that's always an intangible. You never know what's inside a player. I think it's a combination. He got off to a so-so start, had the time on the disabled list, and right now he's just trying to get a feel for his timing. Had a base hit last night, sent a double to deep left field.
Pitch is out. It's 2-0. There's a rule that I learned a while ago in Philadelphia in broadcasting. You don't start a story with 2 outs or start a long email with 2 outs. I've got a 3-part email from Jay.
Definitely not a 2-part, 2-out email.
No.
Unless you go to part 1 now.
A lot of it is lineup specific. And obviously with Dan Jennings' second day on the job, we've had a lot of questions about lineups, managerial style.
Yes, that's down.
You could hear Dan Bellino turn to the Arizona dugout and say that was down. Yelich hits it hard on the ground. Nick Ahmed gets the out. That's not a bad sign. Yelich barrels one up. Hellickson has faced the minimum.
style, utilizing the ability and the skill set that these players bring. That's what I look forward to doing, and I think that the personnel is here to play that type game.
Dan Jennings talking about his managerial style. Right now, a scoreless ball game in the third. Marlins would like to present him with his first win. Tom Kohler gets Nick Ahmed, Jeremy Hellickson, and then Ender Inciarte. 8-9-1 in the Arizona lineup. Emails and tweets tonight. Ahmed, no more for his glove than his bat. Chris Owings, who was at short last night, sliding over to second tonight. Out of Connecticut is Ahmed. He played at UConn.
Part of that versatility we're talking about. Aaron Hill out of the lineup. Owens slides from short to second.
Did you know, and I didn't until I was reading up on Nick Ahmed, that they have a gold glove in the minor leagues, and he won it for shortstop in 2013.
I do know that.
Well, but it was different from the award that you won, right?
Yeah, and back a long time ago, there was one gold glove awarded to a position player in all of minor leagues. A-ball, AA, AAA, and everything.
And it was called?
It's called a silver glove.
Thank you. That's what I was looking for. Well, he won.
It wasn't worthy of goldness at that point.
Jeremy Hellickson now. All right, let's start that long email, shall we?
Go ahead, yeah.
All right, this is from Jay. That Hellickson stands in. Giancarlo Stanley, quintessential cleanup hitter. Hitting him fourth would cause another hitter in front of him. Sorry, my screen closed. To see much better pitches, like Christian Yelich. Stanton does not at this point hit for a high average. Unless two guys are on, Stanton will be pitched around. He needs to bat fourth. What do you think of that theory?
That actually goes along with a tweet from Aaron asking the same thing about Stanton hitting third or fourth. You know, I think down the road, and it's something you and I have talked about, I would imagine the ball clubs discussed it. You mentioned Christian Yelich, but you want Yelich to be swinging the bat well. You don't want a struggling Christian Yelich to go into the number 3 spot. But I don't have a problem someday down the road seeing Christian Yelich hitting third and Giancarlo Stanton hitting fourth. Now, the reason he hits third now is because over the course of a long season, he's going to get a few more bats, and I think you'd like to see that.
Most managers have their best bat in the 3 spot. That's where Goldschmidt is for the Diamondbacks. That's where you saw Albert Pujols as a Cardinal in the 3 spot.
Really, a lot of it, so much depends on the makeup of the lineup, too. What the other guys are doing.
Bouncer to short. Echeverria picks it up, fires to first. All right, part 2 of that question. It seems odd that the catcher can move in or out before the pitch, and the hitter doesn't sense or hear the movement. Why is it that the hitter never senses where the catcher is moving?
Well, sometimes you can. That's why a catcher can't do it too soon. Sometimes you can sense it. Sometimes peripherally you can see it.
And part 3, as Inciarte steps in. Why hasn't Echeverria been moved to second in the lineup? Prado moved down. Do you agree that it is bad to shift the lineup according to who is very hot or very cold? It's a very well thought out and drawn up email here.
You know, you can shift the. You know, if fans manage, they'd have a different lineup every night. You know, you shift them around all the time. Players like a little stability. They like a little continuity. And Martin Prado's in a little bit of a tailspin now. He's not hit well on this homestand, but he's still a terrific number 2 hitter. We have seen Echeverria in certain games hit up in the lineup.
That one fouled at the plate. Now, one of the real themes that I'm getting on both Twitter and in emails is Tommy Hutton. Would you ever want to manage, and were you offered the job? Because there were rumors flying around Sunday night that after Jeff Conine, you were in the running.
No, I was not, and no, I do not. You know, maybe in a different time, 20 or 20 or 25 years ago, but certainly not now.
1-2. Soft serve single. Inciarte has both hits tonight. For Tom Koehler, this is the second time through the lineup. And one trend that has surfaced this year is the second time through, Koehler has been vulnerable. See, first time through, 143. 370 second time through. A lot less if and when they get to the third time through.
Now you have to keep your eye on Inciarte. Remember, the Marlins caught him trying a delayed steal in the first inning. No worries now.
Prado cuts across, gets the out. Nicely done by Tom Koehler. And the Diamondbacks are done in the third, bottom of the third. Miami and Arizona are scoreless.
That means it is an email and Twitter Tuesday. Send all of your tweets to @FoxMarlins. All of your emails can go to foxmarlins@gmail.com and use tonight's special hashtag Twitter Tuesday. I've seen a lot of really nice tweets from people wishing Dan Jennings and the Fish good luck, wanting to see them get a win tonight. Keep those tweets coming. You just might see them in the broadcast. Rich and Tommy, up to you.
Thank you, Jessica. Tom Koehler through 3 scoreless innings. Michael Morse at the plate. And a strike from Jeremy Hellickson. Dan Jennings, Mike Goff as bench coach. This would be night 2. And I think, one thing you realize right away, starting with the first pitch last night, is any bump in the road that the Marlins have, and Jennings addressed this in his press conference, any bump in the road, whether it's a runner picked off, caught stealing, something that happens in the course of a game, the magnifying glass on that, because of how Dan Jennings arrived at the job, is going to be pretty intense. And he addressed it. He said there are going to be a lot of cynics and critics. And
hey, he knows there are baseball people on the field, managers, minor league managers, major league managers, who are probably hoping he fails because of the time they spent to prepare to get here.
Morse, a solid shot in the center field, and a base hit. And a leadoff single here in the 3rd inning.
There's no question Michael Morse is a guy that if all of a sudden he starts to put things together and hits the way he has in his career, he'll move up in the lineup and get himself in a nice RBI spot. But a good swing there, and that's just a nice start. Echeverria now.
Echeverria 0 for 5 last night. Little jam shot pop down the right field line. Long run there, and a catch made by Trumbo. This is a 4-game series, and with this being game 2, if you do the math, you get to Thursday. And on Thursday, it's a special 12-10 start for the Diamondbacks and the Marlins. Seniors 55 and older can get free tickets on Seniors Free Ticket Thursday, presented by Wellmax Medical Centers. Go to your South Florida Subway, get a coupon for a $5 ticket. Just go to marlins.com for all information, start times for games. Game time tomorrow night is the normal 7:10, but a 12:10 start on Thursday before Baltimore arrives on Friday. Budweiser balcony and bar, a good place to hang out with the backdrop downtown Miami. Here's Kohler. Morse does not run well at first. Kohler squares, bunts, and pops it foul and out of play. That one Kohler puts down. Goldschmidt gets the out. And D. Gordon will have a chance to give Miami their first run.
That's a good job. And when you see it done that way, perfect sack bunt for Tom Kohler.
Now Gordon. And again, he shortens up to bunt, takes outside. Gordon tried to bunt with 2 strikes, fouled it off. That goes as a strikeout, one of 2 that Hellickson has tonight.
This is a tough situation with 2 out. And the outfield not deep with D. Gordon, and with Michael Morse, the runner at second. But this has been an area that has really troubled the Marlins during this 4-game losing streak. The Marlins, with runners in scoring position, of course they didn't have a whole lot of opportunities with Shelby Miller, but with runners in scoring position, the last 4 games, just 3 for 25.
Two-0 pitch. Gordon going after the 2-0 pitch, count 2-1. Michael Morse has the only hit for Miami. Arizona has just 2. This is feeling a little bit like last night. Ruby De La Rosa and Dan Herron. Both went deep in the ball game. Herron went 8. De La Rosa went 9.
That was his longest career outing.
Gordon trying to add to his major league leading hit total. Fouls that one at the plate. 63 hits. And the next closest 15 hits back, Adrian Gonzalez. We've seen a lot more breaking balls come D. Gordon's way since he arrived in Los Angeles.
Yeah, that all started there, and you know there are advanced scouts that are marking down all those things.
Gordon lines it, and Tomas snares it. Miami's third is over. 3 in the books. Not a run for either side. In downtown Miami. Tom Kohler to work in the 4th. For Kohler, just 43 pitches.
Let's go fish! Let's go!
That didn't wake you up. Some Cuban coffee down at the Taste of Miami that might. Here's Goldschmidt. And he takes in David Peralta, Yasmani Tomas. Emails and tweets tonight.
Got a good one, Rich. Organizational tweet from Marlins Reddit. Historically, do the Marlins let scouting director Stan Meek lead all things draft, or does the GM get involved? Well, the GM does get involved. And that's why Mike Berger is going to have more responsibilities. Brian Chadden, Dan Knopfsinger, Marty Scott, they'll all be involved in the upcoming draft.
D. Gordon calling. And D. Gordon catching. Tom Kohler's retired Paul Goldschmidt. When we talked about second time through for Kohler, and so far second time through, he was retired Paul Goldschmidt and Mark Trumbo. Ender Inciarte got his second hit of the night.
Yeah, Michael Berger, the vice president, general manager, assistant GM, will certainly have more duties without question. So yeah, he'll be involved. Mike Hill, his staff, a lot of decisions. The draft coming up in June.
Peralta makes his home in South Florida, actually just north of the Marlins training camp.
Yeah, he's probably from here, probably an hour and a half, maybe a tick more. Depends on how much you want to chance it.
Well, with the St. Louis Cardinals, he was a pitcher. And that's when he went through all those trials and surgeries on the shoulder, a couple of major surgeries.
Isn't it interesting? The Cardinals have had a couple of successes with Rick Ankiel, pitcher turned hitter and a very good outfielder, and now Peralta.
You know what? That's a homework assignment to find out if Peralta took any I guess, inspiration or instruction, or just saw Ankiel go through it as a Cardinal, as he was a young player, and decided he'd give it a shot. Peralta's at first, and here is Tomas. Noah from Boca has an Ichiro question. How does Ichiro hit in the batting cage if he runs during his swing? There's a liner to right center field. Ozuna over, and he'll play it on a hop. Racing for third is Peralta. They'll hold him there. Nice play by Ozuna. A, to cut the ball off, and B, to get it to Echeverria quickly. It prevents a run from scoring. And Tomas has his 4th hit.
Pitch up kind of came in a little bit, but we've seen Tomas swing the bat really well in this series. And there goes Ozuna. You're right. If that ball gets through, Tomas is at third, and there's a run in. But by cutting it off, he keeps the run from scoring. Tomas gets the double, but Peralta just gets to third.
A walk and a double, and here's Owings. And Arizona has a great opportunity to get on the board first. Owings popped out his first at bat, and he's almost hit by the breaking ball. Noah, just to answer your question, no, Ichiro doesn't run into the side of the cage after every swing. He does not run or start to move when he swings during batting practice.
We've had a lot of tweets and emails, as we usually do every Tuesday, about Jose Fernandez, who will be facing hitters tomorrow in Jupiter. So he'll be throwing batting practice. And by all accounts, you heard Michael Hill last night when he was on with us. He talked about Jose. Everything moving forward tremendously. So when Ron from Coral Gables chimes in with those tweets, we always like to get to them.
Count 1-2. Good pitch. Count stays at 1-2. Gary from, it's got to be deep in the heart of Texas. Yeah, it is. Texans for Teal, big Marlin fan. Having answered the hat question, what about a league rule that won't allow someone to wear their hat crooked? Could the league correct that if they want?
Well, old school part of me says I wouldn't have a problem with that. The New School Players Association might. And the hip-hop generation might.
1-2. I got no problem with it. In fact, I wouldn't mind seeing an entire team with their hat. I mean, it's like, you know, be consistent.
On the field or in the dugout. I don't mind it in the dugout in a rally situation.
There you go. Now we got to it.
There you go.
It's a good battle here with runners second and third. Infield is back. Kohler working on Chris Owings. And he wins. Big strikeout for Kohler.
Second strikeout tonight and a big one in a key situation.
South Florida Honda dealers, get you ready for tomorrow night's game. It is Marlins Live, and it is tomorrow night at 6:30. Craig Minervini and Jeff Conine, who enjoyed the open roof ambiance out there in their center field set. Chase Anderson is a righty. So is David Phelps. And they duel tomorrow. And here is Goswitch, Diamondback catcher.
Made a couple of nice throws last night. You know, he's actually come around with the bat. He's hit in 8 of his last 11.
Tapper over the mound. Tough play. Gordon got it. Morse, no tag. And the Diamondbacks get a run. Well, a lot of variables there with runners on the move with 2 outs. D. Gordon kind of flexing. Here's a look.
Just over the head and out of the reach of Tom Kohler. Cutting in front of D. Gordon was Echeverria. You saw the ball bounce right over the bag. Terrific effort. D. Gordon trying to catch and throw and get something on it all at the same time, and he pulled Michael Morse off the bag. Kind of had to revert back to his shortstop days.
It's going to go as an E4.
Wow. Didn't see that one coming.
At the corners, here's Ahmed. He bunts, and it's a beauty. And this is going to be another run for the Diamondbacks. Nick Ahmed catches Martin Prado back. And a very nice bunt. The Diamondbacks lead at 2-0.
Well, it's a nice bunt. It's a heads-up play because you don't do this unless you see the third baseman back. And Ahmed saw where Prado was and dropped it down just in the right spot.
So here's Hellickson, runners first and second. He swings and hits a fly ball to right. Stanton towards the line is there and makes the catch. The Marlins failed to get that third out, and it's costly. The Diamondbacks score twice and lead it 2-0. Try the new meatball sub. Pick yours by Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Price, service, selection. You're gonna love us. And by Just for Men Mustache and Beard. Your best beard ever. In Miami for the second night in a row, the Diamondbacks have a 2-0 lead. Miami tied it last night on the JT Realmuto homer. And then the Diamondbacks in 13 innings ended up winning that ball game. Martin Prado, Giancarlo Stanton, and Marcell Ozuna for the Fish.
Get a tweet in here quickly from Frank Stewart at StuG8R. My son's spring band concert. I'm there instead of watching the Marlins game. Well, you should be there, Frank, but just remember, DVR.
Here's Prado, and Prado takes in. Kevin has this tweet. Is Dan Jennings going to be the permanent manager, or is he considered more of an interim manager? I mean, look, I think all of this is dependent on results, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think it was it was up front. The organization said he was going to be here all year.
Prado lines one into center, and that is a base hit. Look, if the Marlins win and finish with a winning record and have a real nice season, and Dan Jennings is the skipper, it's a pretty good chance he'll be here next year. If the Marlins struggle and finish under 500 and in the minds of the evaluators underachieve,
then Dan Jennings, if that happens, he'll put the tie back on and figure out who the new one's going to be.
You would think.
Yeah. Just our guess.
Here's Stanton now. And Stanton with a swing and a miss. One of the things to watch for with Stanton, and we saw it when he went through that spell of swinging a lot of pitches that were out, was trying to do too much.
Haven't seen lately.
Stanton left field, and Peralta comes in, waves it off, and Ciarte will let Peralta make the catch.
Haven't seen lately, Rich, too many line drives or anything into right field or right center. And when you see that, that's when Giancarlo gets locked in. Got that little bit off the end of the bat.
Ozuna now. Don't normally see Stanton that off balance on a swing. Going to read this Stanton email when he was up, but I'll throw it out now. This is from Sal. Dan Le Batard today said that Stanton is the strongest player to ever play the game. Do you agree? My grandfather would say Harmon Killebrew.
Yeah, I mean, there's some good arguments. If you go back, Frank Howard talked about Big Frank, who hit one out of Dodger Stadium. Talked about him when we were in L.A. The killer. Harmon Killebrew.
No offense to Harmon Killebrew or Frank Howard, who are awfully strong guys, but none of them had the modern weight training, exercise routine, nutrition, all of those things combined, and you've got a couple generations between Stanton and that. Bigger, faster, stronger.
In those two comparisons, you had a couple of different guys. You had Frank Howard, 6'8", and you had Harmon Killebrew, who was barely 6 feet. I don't know, built like a rock.
I don't know that he was 6 feet.
He might not have been 6 feet. Yeah.
Here goes Real Muto, Mike Harkey, and named from the past, the former Marlin coach, pitching coach for the Diamondbacks. Real Muto with runners first and second, and one out.
The hardest thing for an individual player to do when your club is struggling scoring runs especially, is to, when you get in this situation, such as JT Real Muto, to try to do too much, to try to hit that 3-run homer to all of a sudden give you the lead. And I think we've seen a little of that in Giancarlo. You just have to take it hit at a time, and hopefully if you do it that way, everything falls into place for everybody else in the line.
Especially with what's happened in the last 24, 48 hours. A manager and a bench coach losing their job, a new manager coming in under intense scrutiny. I mean, if you're Stanton and you're somewhat the leader of this ball club, your inclination is to try to do a lot. Robuto fouls it at the plate.
That's a really good pitch after a visit from the pitching coach. Get in a situation, one out, couple of men on. You know the hitter's a little anxious. He threw a good changeup.
Pitch misses in. Tom has this tweet. A manager conducts the orchestra, the players play the music. And right now the Marlins are way out of tune. Ball and 2 strikes to JT Realmuto. Jonathan in Gainesville, I suspect, pointing out we have yet to mention the crack staff, which will make everyone at least playing that drinking game in Gainesville happy. One, 2. That one to left. Peralta lost it for a moment and then comes in to make the catch.
Well, all of a sudden, I think realized there's a little breeze up there.
We've seen that with outfielders. Ball gets up over the roof line and all of a sudden it starts to move a little bit.
The other concern for infielders and outfielders, we might be beyond it right now, but you have to deal with the twilight that you don't have to deal with when it's closed.
Miami skyline, and here is Yelich. Now Yelich scalded one to short. It was an out, but it certainly is a good sign. Drives it left center, hits it deep. Inciarte back at the track, and he makes the catch. Caught his spikes in the track, but he kept his balance and holds the ball. Yelich has hit it hard twice and nothing to show. Measure home runs that Giancarlo Stanton has hit. For you, Tommy, and for me, which are the most impressive?
You know, we talked about a lot of the ones. The one that impressed me was the grand slam off Jamie Moyer, the power supplied all by Giancarlo. Not to mention, it blew out a few lights on the scoreboard. That was impressive.
It did some damage, didn't it? Christian Yelich nearly gave Miami a pair of runs. Ender Inciarte, who ran it down, will lead it off. Mark Trumbo, Paul Goldschmidt, third time through against Tom Kohler. And a strike to Inciarte, who has 2 hits.
And keep in mind, we talked about it, Tom Kohler threw 3 innings on Saturday against Atlanta, 3 shutout innings.
That one pulled foul. For me, it's not a tape measure shot, Benjamin. It was an opposite field homer that didn't get more than 35 feet off the ground and got out. Against the Cubs, Jason Hamill. Liner to center. Ozuna's there, and he makes the catch.
And then you and I discussed the one over the Budweiser bar that hit one of those pillars, or it would have bounced out, I think. One the other night, center field. There have been many, and there will be more.
Here's Trumbo, and he takes in.
A lot of tweets, Rich, about the roof. Who decides what games are played with the roof open or closed? This one was by Francisco at Ponchi 17. It's a decision the organization makes. Players don't have input, I don't believe. Make it about 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe earlier, depending on a day like today. And on a day like today, why not? Beautiful.
This one is going to find foul ground. Mark Trumbo returns with a 1-2 count. You're just happening by Arizona and Miami in Game 2, not only of the series, but in the Dan Jennings era. And the Marlins, who fell behind last night 2-0, are behind again tonight 2-0. The roof is open, and it's a glorious night. Tom Kohler dispatches with Trumbo.
Tom Kohler's made some nice pitches, and he's thrown strikes. Perfect pitch there to get Trumbo. Just a couple of walks in this one tonight. Dave Mack. Okay, Dave, I got you. You got me. And pick a Stardust. Dave Mack says Dontrelle Willis would not appreciate the hat rule if it was enforced.
Dontrelle, of course, a member of the media now on FS1.
Think Dontrelle and Pete Rose will ever be on the same panel now that Pete's doing some stuff for Fox 1? That'd be a nice duo. Pete Rose, Dontrelle Willis, the studio.
Yeah, that. Here's the 2-1.
I did like what Pete said the other day. They were talking about the all-time hits leader. He said, "I'm a hit king. That's the way I make my money." And he said, "I'll be long gone if anybody ever breaks the record."
3-2. Paul Goldschmidt is popped out twice. Good pitch in on his hands. Prado across the diamond. And a 1-2-3 fifth for Tom Kohler. Halfway through, and it's 2-0 Arizona. Top of the Marlins. Time now for our Geico MLB moments. 1962, Stan Musial collects 3,431 to establish the new National League record. He would finish at 3.630, fourth all time. That great statue sitting in front of the new Busch Stadium welcomes Cardinal fans from all over the Midwest to the new Busch. And of course, Ichiro seemingly passes or ties someone significant with every hit. Just tied Babe Ruth on the hit list. Michael Morse, bottom 5. Jeremy Hellickson has been very effective in this one, not overpowering. Morse, Echeverria, and Tom Kohler.
Saw Ichiro down on the field around the batting cage. From a distance, I went back and forth. I said, Ichiro, you and the Babe now. You and the Babe. And respectfully, he said, no, don't say that. No.
Bruce! No swing. Counts 2-2.
Rich, is that camera 12?
That is camera 12, kids. Here's the 2-2. Thought we'd spice up the telecast. Things were a little down.
Fans are asking for energy. You know, if the fans want energy, they have to give energy. So it's a two-way street.
To me, that's a little more energy than the energy team themselves, right? Look out. Bats, balls flying at short. Ahmed picks it up and gets the out.
That is getting sawed off. Now, Ahmed at short doesn't know right off the bat how far that's going to go, the barrel of the bat. So he has to follow the ball. The barrel came up short, and he completed the play.
Now Danny Echeverria, who popped out to right back in the third. Echeverria's pace has slowed a bit.
That's another reason you try to pick apart a lineup. And you mentioned Etch has cooled off. D. Gordon has cooled off. Martin Prado on the homestand. Prado with his base hit in the fourth inning is 3 for 21 on the homestand.
Center field, a lot of room out there, and Ciarte makes the catch. There's 2 outs here in the 5th. Wednesday would be tomorrow, and that would be another Chevron Crazy 8 ball game. Marlins Diamondbacks 7-10. If you go to Chevron, get 8 gallons of gas or more. Just bring your receipt. Make sure the receipt comes out of the machine and doesn't get, tangled up or anything. You get your choice of an $18 Lexus Legends level ticket or a $28 home plate box ticket. Kohler fouls it off. It's a big moment. As a kid, do you remember getting your first foul ball at a major league game?
Oh, man, I didn't go to that many because the Dodgers had not moved to L.A. Then I started playing. I'm not sure I ever got one. I don't think I ever got one.
Really?
How about you? Oakland?
Oakland, go.
Oh, you told me the story. It's a good story, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's 2 outs and 2 strikes.
2 outs. Here we go.
You can't start it.
And the pitcher up.
And Chris Coast is not in the story, by the way. Kohler went around and is tagged out.
All right, next inning.
And a strikeout by Jeremy Hellickson. And it's 2-0. Arizona on top. T-Mobile game changers from last night, and they were the starting pitchers. Both were outstanding. Both went deep. Ruby De La Rosa went 9. Dan Herron went 8. Both gave up 2 runs. Neither was around when the decisions were rendered. 13th inning. Arizona got a run in the 13th and won it 3-2. Tom Kohler on the mound. Where were we, Tommy?
We were talking about your first foul ball as a kid.
That will have to wait. Well,
okay.
Let's check in with Jessica Blaylock. Jess?
Well, Rich, we're continuing to take tweets on this Twitter and email Tuesday, and we got a fantastic run from Scott, who sent in a great picture to start your man cave with. That's our good friend Jeff Conine. It looks like he even signed that one. First Marlin to get 100 hits. What better way to start your man cave than with a picture of Jeff Conine? Niner looks good in that one, too. That's a throwback.
Yeah, he looks the same now.
Hey, isn't that tweet from Niner? That's his man. No, it's not. He does not do Twitter. Niner does not do Twitter. David Peralta for the Diamondbacks. Getting a foul ball at a baseball game is pretty special as a kid or as anyone. Although, did you see was it the Philly fan that knocked over a lady who had the foul ball? He came in, gave her a kind of a body block.
Actually, there have been a couple of interesting Philly fan catches. There was the gentleman who caught the foul ball while he was cradling his baby. I don't know if I'd recommend that, but he made a great catch.
Count 2-1 to Peralta.
So yours was in Oakland.
Mine was in Oakland with my buddies. Fastball, swing and a miss. Charlie Finley, and this was mid to late 70s, had at one point, after dismantling the World Championship teams that won 3 in a row, set all ticket prices at half price. So as a kid, I mean, that's a green light, right? You hop on BART, go in, you buy an upper deck ticket, you sneak down. There was one section behind home plate where no one would sit, but we would. And one day we must have had 8 foul balls. Nice play by Morse, and he steps on the bag. I had one buddy who was a real smart aleck, and one of the foul balls was hit by Rob Beechelay, who was was the shortstop for Oakland at the time. Picholo was struggling. I think, you know, they used to put, and they still do, put the batting averages up on the scoreboard. He's hitting like $180. So my buddy wrote on the ball, hit by Picholo, 180, don't want it. And in the middle of the game, unbeknownst to us, he stood up and he threw it back onto the field. And it landed between the mound and the plate. Chopper, third base side. Prado has it. Fire to first. But there's more to the story. Let me, if I may.
Well, I like this story because all of a sudden Tom Kohler's got a nice couple of outs quickly.
All right. So, anyways, I believe it's the Texas Rangers, and I believe Gaylord Perry's on that team. They threw the ball into the opposing dugout, and all the other players looked at it and laughed, and they threw it across to the Oakland dugout, and Picholo certainly was the subject of scorn. My first job in broadcasting was calling games at Spokane. The manager, I had to do the manager show on radio. So my first interview with the manager.
Here it comes.
Rob Picholo. Is the 0-1. That one popped first base side, foul out play. After the interview, I just couldn't help it. I asked him, I said, hey, you remember a game where some kid threw back one of your foul balls with a note on it? And he looked, and Peach is one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. But he didn't look real happy because it was not a good memory. Small world.
That is. Baseball is a small world.
Chris Owings in the air to right. And Stanton is there, and he makes the catch. That's a 10-pitch inning with a foul ball story in the middle. For a chance to win a trip to the MLB All-Star Game on Fox for you and 3 of your friends. Upload 2 photos. FoxSports.com. Fantastic All-Star. Now through June 3rd. Miami down 2-0. Jeremy Hellickson looking like his 2011 American League Rookie of the Year form.
Yeah, he was 13-10 that year with a 2.95 ERA.
D. Gordon's 0 for 2. He's 0 for 7 in the series. And as hot as he's been from day one, this seems to be the driest patch that he's hit. We should all be so lucky to hit a dry patch and still be hitting over 400.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's at 401. 2-2.
So on the fastball, then fouled off that changeup.
Out trying to bunt for a hit when he fouled the pitch off with 2 strikes in the first. Shoots a ground ball in the hole at short. Ahmed over. Gordon beats it.
That's what he needed. Remember, he lined out to third in the 3rd inning. Hit the ball really hard. Christian Yelich has hit the ball really hard tonight, but 0 for 2. Sometimes you get that infield base hit. Once this ball got past the 3rd baseman, Tomas, Ahmed wasn't going to get it.
Here comes Prado on an email Twitter Tuesday. Jim has a variety of questions. I like these multiple part emails. Prado is bounced out in singles. Gordon chased back by Hellickson. First off, Jim wants to know, what's the over-under on games before Dan Jennings gets ejected?
I think we see, with replay, we see less ejections.
Most ejections, what were we told by the umpires this year? There were more ejections actually last year than before replay, and they were centered around home plate.
Yeah, they weren't as colorful.
And the theory behind that from said umpires that talked to us was that managers and players, because of replay, don't get arguments going on the bases. But for balls and strikes, the reasoning was players and managers got to, they got to blow off some steam, and so they do it around the plate, maybe more than they used to. Hellickson a long wait. So did you come up with a number over under?
I'll go
15.
I'll go higher. I would go over that.
That's another thing for a rookie manager to learn, is how much dialogue you can have with the umpires, right? First, you got to learn the umpires, personalities, strike zones.
You have to learn them by recognition as well. Okay, one play. Who is that up there? All right, Dan Bellino.
Prado fights one off, and it's 0-2.
Tom Hallion, second base, Gucci. Bruce Dreckman's over at first. Alfonso Marquez is at third.
See, I like that. It's an older guy got the foul ball, walked up, and gave it to the kid. Diamondback cap, Batman shirt, gave it to a Marlins fan. How about that?
First of all, he has his glove, so he's ready.
There's the play.
He said, all right.
And there's the gesture.
All right.
Pitch is out, and it's 1-2. It's a 2-0 Arizona lead. Bottom 6. Martin Prado battling Jeremy Hellickson. Hellickson at 79 pitches. Kohler used 87 to get through his 6 innings. Gordon's leaning, not running, and Prado swings and misses at a breaking ball. So an out, and here comes Giancarlo. Saturday spectacular, 7:15 start this Saturday, and maybe some time in the pool. Wouldn't that be spectacular? 7:15 start. Fans 21 and older get the Beer Fest package. Who doesn't want the Beer Fest package? Enjoy beer at the Clevelander. 3 hours before game time. All you can eat seats as well, $35. Go to Marlins.com for tickets. A beer fest, a sampler of beers at the Clevelander before Saturday night's game. And of course on Sunday there's brunch with $5 mimosas. Stanton's 0 for 2. Hellickson, for any power hitter, has got to be a real test in patience.
Well, he takes his time, especially with base runners, especially here in this inning with D. Gordon on. You know, his fastball cuts, he's got the big curveball, he's got the good changeup. Struck Prado out on the curveball.
Count 2-0. Miami looking for their first run of the night. Marlins have just 3 hits. Stanton drives it left field and deep. Back goes Peralta. It is gone. 2-run shot. A tie ball game.
I actually think for a moment Peralta lost it in left field. It was so high. Remember last night it was the 7th inning when JT Realmuto tied it with a 2-run homer.
A dozen for Giancarlo.
That didn't have the incredible distance that he gets so often, but this one had unbelievable height and hang time. Hellickson knew it.
Ozuna takes a breaking ball for a strike. In watching outfielders go for fly balls, Inciarte running down Yelich's, Peralta watching that one go out of the park, you get a sense that the wind is pushing the ball back tonight. Because remember, Inciarte almost overran the Yelich ball and had to lunge forward to catch it on the track. And it looked like Peralta thought it was absolutely gone, and then at the last minute figured he'd go to the wall in case it came back.
And we talked about that at the beginning of the ball game with the roof open. There are times with the wind circulating, it can actually push a ball and make it jump out of here. But then there are times that it doesn't. I think that's exactly right. I think this is one of those times that it's not carrying as well.
1-2 to Marcell Ozuna. That breaking ball hit the center. Inciarte back, and he makes the catch. 2 outs, and here's JT Realmuto. Jim had more parts to his question than the Dan Jennings getting ejected part. Bryce Harper. Will Bryce Harper hit 60 or more homers this season? Bryce Harper homered tonight.
He has 15. Bryce Harper, Rich, has hit 10 home runs in his last 12 games. So, you know what? At that pace, he will hit 60. Hard to tell, though.
JT Realmuto has flied to left twice. This feels an awful lot like last night, doesn't it? Diamondbacks got a 2-0 lead. It was Realmuto who hit the 2-run homer last night, just an inning later. He hit it in the 7th. Stanton has hit his here in the 6th. The starters have been solid, as they were last night. Ruby De La Rosa and Dan Herron. Tom Kohler and Jeremy Hellickson going tonight. Bryce Harper may have homered tonight, but the Nationals trail the Yankees 6-5 in the 6th in D.C.
Nats made a little bit of a comeback. It was 6-2.
St. Louis on top of the Mets right now, 6-2 up in New York. And that 2-2 pitch is low.
Good take on the changeup by JT.
3-2.
Little pop. And it's out of reach.
It's always tougher to take that same pitch, 3-2. A good one by Hellickson, but Real Muto battles. Pitch it was down, but as I said, it's tougher to take that 3-2 than 3-1.
Foul back, out of play. Atlanta is at home, but trailing the Rays 5-3 in the bottom of the 6th. Atlanta, with their sweep of the Marlins, got themselves right up around 500. They're a game under 500 tonight. It's a short. Ahmed gets the out, but Miami gets their 2 runs. Just like last night, a 2-run homer tonight. And Giancarlo Stanton, number 12. 2-2 again. In the 7th, let's check in with Craig Minervini.
Rich, thank you very much. And with the Jennings family, we want to say hi to Stuart, too, because he's not here. Your son is in Boston, but your other 2 sons are here. This is Lori Jennings. It's been a crazy week. So I got to ask you, Dan's mom said, what, are you crazy? The father being a coach, certainly very supportive. Where'd you lie in all this?
Well, I just told him to think about it, and if he felt like that was best for he and the Marlins, then that's what he should do.
What's it like now for your family? The games feel a little different? Every move, were you on the edge of your seat?
Yeah, it's a little different, just a little more intense and like a little more personal maybe. And we were big fans to start with,
sure.
So.
What was today like? I'm sure yesterday was such I know you wanted to win. Put that aside. The moment for your family to see your husband do something that he quite frankly, never dreamed about, but here it is.
No, we never even discussed it. And I think when he went out and gave the lineup card, it really was surreal then and got real. And it was just exciting. It was very exciting.
Let me talk to the boys here. Hunter and Tyler over here. how neat for you guys to see Dad. I mean, it's been a great run from professionally. What a play by Prado there on Gosewich, and Morse over at first. How about for you guys?
Oh, it's great. He's always been our coach, but it's nice to see him get to do it at the highest level now.
Yeah, in the major leagues. And for you, Tyler, what about today? And just reminiscing about yesterday, what stuck out on his major league debut as a manager yesterday?
Just as a son, just extremely proud and almost surreal at the same time. But the biggest thing is just proud of him, and I think he's the right man for the job.
Now, do you guys, have you thrown any input? Like, did you think about doing this or that yet?
It's a Griffey. Nah, we only do decisions up to him.
All right, guys, good to see you, and best of luck. I know your brother Stuart, too, is in Boston. I'm sure you want to give a shout-out to him.
Hey, Stuart and Declan and Lucy and Carrie.
All right, the whole family with the grandchildren, too, and congratulations on a big week for the Jennings family. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Craig. Nick Ahmed at the plate. He fouls a pitch back. The count is 0-2. Well, last night, Dan Jennings in his first game, and so his first post-game press conference, there were a lot of questions about what was it like, what did he see, some of the notable comments, that the game is a lot faster than you think, and he said it really speeds up from the 7th inning on. Liner to left, and that's a base hit. Yelich to cut it off. Ahmed, big turn, and he'll hold there.
Nick Ahmed came in with a 165 batting average, but he also had a 4-game hitting streak. All of a sudden, he's gotten a couple of hits tonight.
Chuck Hernandez on his way out to talk to Tom Kohler. Miami's bullpen is in action.
Well, a pinch hitter coming up, so a couple of reasons. A couple of balls hit pretty well. And also you have the pinch hitter Aaron Hill, gives Mike Dunn, gives Brian Morse a little extra time to warm up. And it gives Chuck an opportunity to allow that, but also maybe to go over a quick scouting report on Aaron Hill.
Major League Baseball on Fox Sports 1 this Saturday. The Brewers and the Braves at 3:30 Eastern. And at 7 Eastern, the return of Baseball Night in America on Fox, Orioles and Marlins. That's right, the Marlins and the Orioles on Big Fox on Saturday. Coverage starts 3:30 Eastern. You're home for baseball every Saturday, Fox and Fox Sports 1.
So conversation complete. Aaron Hill 0 for 5 in the ball game last night.
We talked about Hill, great hitter in college at LSU, that continued for 7 seasons with Toronto, his 4th year with the Diamondbacks. That pop-up's going to find the seats.
I think people would be surprised that a number of years ago in 2009, when Aaron Hill was an all-star, he had 36 home runs and 108 RBIs for the Blue Jays.
See his last dozen games over 400. That included last night. Daniel Hudson in Arizona's bullpen.
I think there's a nice lesson learned too from Tom Kohler in this one tonight. You know, when a pitcher has his throw day, probably doesn't throw with the intensity that he does. Well, Tom Kohler did, because he threw 3 innings in a game. And you know what? There's the old adage: the more you throw, it seems like sometimes the better you are. And Tom Kohler's been really good tonight as far as command, giving up just the 2 runs.
That went foul back out of play. pitch by inning. That fourth inning, the most stressful, and that's when the Diamondbacks got their 2 runs. An infield error helped, and a bunt single drove in the second run. Runner goes on the 1-2, driven to right center. Ozuna is there and makes the catch. And Ahmed heads back to first. Two outs. Here comes Dan Jennings, who's going to make his first pitching change in what looks like a double switch. Jennings pointing to the bullpen. You see home plate umpire Dan Bellino also scribbling something out. Ichiro getting set, it looks like, to come in. Mike Dunn will be the reliever. Kendall Toyota called to the bullpen. Ciarte.
Well, any pitcher, any starting pitcher wants to finish his job. He knew his job was to at least finish that 7th inning. Dan Jennings making the move with the lefty Dunn to face Ciarte. Interesting in the double switch. You and I discussing it between innings. It puts Dunn in the number 4 spot. Now, obviously, he won't hit. It could be a Justin Bour, it could be a Jeff Baker. So with Ichiro coming in the game, Ichiro hits in the number 9 spot. Hopefully, you get a little longer outing out of Mike Dunn.
And Ichiro is due up 4th in the bottom half of this, the 7th inning. Dunn to first, Ahmed back.
Had a tweet a long time ago by Smara Lorenzo, but I like at Cookie Bubbles 72. He wants to know if the players are allowed to tweet while on the bench. No, they're not. No, they're not. No cell phones on the bench.
Yeah, I believe no electronic devices is still the rule, right?
Yes.
No strike zone widgets. No texting from above. That's why the replay system, it's by phone only. Oh, 2 coming from Mike Dunn. And Ciarte lines it foul. He's got 2 hits and allowed out, lined out to Ozuna back in the 5th. He hits that one hard to left. Yelich is there, and he makes the catch. So Dunn gets the out. The inning for the Diamondbacks is done. 7th inning stretch in a 2-2 game in Miami. And a nice line for Kohler. Both runs unearned, 6 2/3. Drops his ERA down to 3.70. Got some help from Mike Dunn getting that last out of the 7th.
Hey, Tom Kohler's pitching his way back into the rotation. There were some of the moves that were made with Jarek Cozart suffering from vertigo. He's placed on the disabled list. Carter Capps comes up to give the Marlins another arm in the bullpen. And how about when he was designated, Nick Massett quickly signed by the Atlanta Braves.
Daniel Hudson arrives in for Arizona. Christian Yelich leads it off. And Hudson's fastball misses down low.
We did have a tweet earlier about Nick Massett. Why was he designated? Pretty good numbers. Sometimes it just becomes a numbers game as far as shuffling pitchers around and needing someone. And all of a sudden, someone becomes the odd man out. And unfortunately for Nick Massett, it was him. But fortunately for him, the Braves picked him up.
At the knees. Hudson coming off his 2nd Tommy John surgery. Yelich with the count now 2-2.
Team Yelich.
Team Yelich needs a little better luck than tonight. He's hit it really hard twice and is 0 for 2. Hard ground ball to short, and that liner that was caught on the track in deep left center.
Well, it wasn't too long ago. Daniel Hudson, a 16-game winner, 2011 for Arizona. But the injuries have taken their toll.
Yelich called out on strikes. He had dropped the bat and was ready to head to first.
Boy, it was a late call, too, by Dan Bellino.
With Yelich, we've seen in his short career, he's usually right on these. He's got great strike zone recognition. Let's see if he's right on this one.
Change up. Hudson really turns that pitch over. And
It's
number
low.
6 is low. It's out of the zone. So he was once again correct on his knowledge of the strike zone. So his bad luck continues tonight.
Morris lines it to right. And it's caught there by Trumbo. So just like that, the Marlins thought they had a runner on to start the inning. 2 outs, nobody on. Here comes Echeverria and here comes Jessica Blaylock.
Yeah, guys, got a question from Will on this Twitter Tuesday. He wants to know, what former player would you guys compare Etch to? He loves watching him defensively and thinks he's always improving at the plate.
So, which current player would we compare to Etch, or which past player?
What
former player? All right.
Well, I would keep it in the Marlins family. I would say Edgar Renteria. And defensively, Etch has an edge, I think, on a few things in a few areas. Nice to hear national broadcasters listening to radio today, national radio baseball talking. They're talking about the terrific year Brandon Crawford's having for the Giants. And they said, but don't forget about the year Danny Echeverria's having in Miami.
Liner to right. Echeverria
On cue.
Got himself a hit. A 2-out single here in the 7th. And here comes Ichiro. This is Ichiro. And this is a little slice of his yesterday. Liner to left. And a little flip down the line.
Now, I'm sure in his career, Babe Ruth had a couple like that. You know, a couple little flips that were right down the line. But with that one that you saw, Ichiro tied the Babe. 2,873 hits, but did it in a lot fewer games.
Hudson's pitch is down low. Remember, Miami had a pair of base runners thrown out last night, including Ichiro in the 13th inning. Stanton was thrown out in the 12th. Ball and a strike.
With Echeverria's base hit, he keeps that average above 300, 302.
Etch is running, and he's in there. Did he keep the hand on? He's out. Echeverria overslides the bag, and the Marlins' rotten success at second continues. He had the bag stolen easily. But as you see now with every middle infielder, they will keep the glove on just in case you come off. Ugh. Brought to you by H.H. Gregg High Definition.
Well, the Diamondbacks got theirs on this chopper. Their first run came in the 4th inning after a walk and a double. That was ruled an error. Tough play for D. Gordon. Then a bunt base hit. Nicely done by Nick Ahmed for the 2nd run of the inning. The Marlins got theirs a lot faster and a lot further. Home run number 12 for Giancarlo. RBIs 37 and 38.
Mike Dunn's pitch is lined into center field. The base hit. Ichiro's out there. Mark Trumbo opens the 8th with a hit. You're just joining us. 2-2 ball game, much like last night. Diamondbacks got their 2 runs, both unearned, in the 4th. And then a 2-run homer by Giancarlo Stanton. Tom Kohler and Jeremy Hellickson have both since departed.
Tom Kohler bringing the ERA down to 3.7. Really nice job tonight from TK.
Goldschmidt takes a strike.
Not an easy matchup this year. Paul Goldschmidt hitting .387 against lefties. There are the splits. Last night was in the 10th inning. Trumbo came out for a pinch runner. He led off the 10th with a single. And that was the only thing Sam Dyson allowed. 5 strikeouts in his 2 innings.
Goldschmidt swings and misses. So Dunn has an out. Trumbo still at first. David Peralta coming up. And this is what prompted Dan Jennings to make the double switch. He wanted Dunn for more than just that one hitter. Now, as it turns out, his turn was at the plate with Ichiro when Echeverria was thrown out.
It's going to be the righty, A.J. Pollock.
Pollock lines one left field deep. It's hooking in the corner, and it is gone. A.J. Pollock, a pinch hit homer. A 2-run shot off of Mike Dunn, and the Diamondbacks take a 4-2 lead. And that got out in a hurry. That was Gonzo-like.
Who put that there?
Boy, the Notre Dame kid didn't waste any time. First pitch, you thought it might hook foul, stayed fair, and just snuck over the top of the wall.
Dude, it went over the Budweiser sign. No, it
didn't. Dunn gets a strike to Yasmani Tomas.
His 2nd career pinch hit home run for A.J. Pollock.
There it sits.
Guys, you're just leaving it there. The bullpen.
How about Chip Hale? Remember last night the big hit in the 13th was Peralta, who had come in late in the game. And here a pinch hit 2-run homer by Pollock. Three hits last night. Tomas has doubled tonight. He lines that one fouling out of play. still there.
Not knowing that it's his second career pinch hit home run.
Ground ball into right field. And Tomas has another hit. It's 5 hits in 2 nights for the Cuban third baseman. Emails and tweets. And Brian Morris in the bullpen. And Dan Jennings coming out to make a move.
Rich, we'll get back to some of those tweets and emails when we come back.
After a Kendall Toyota call to the bullpen. Last chance to get a hold of us. Email foxmarlins@gmail.com. Tweets and emails as well. @FoxMarlins. There's your hashtag Twitter Tuesday. For the Marlins, this Tuesday has taken an abrupt turn from 2-2 to 4-2. A.J. Pollock blasting a home run just over the wall down the left field line. A 2-run pinch hit home run. And so Brian Morris takes over for Mike Dunn.
No, Brian Morris's job just to get out of this inning, keep it a 2-run game. We did talk to A.J. Pollock, and he had a season, overlapped 1 year as a teammate of David Phelps's in Notre Dame.
Morris turns out there, Etch's turn out there. 1 pitch and a double play, but the damage right now sits up on the scoreboard. A.J. Pollock looks up at a 4-2 Arizona lead. Complement your visit to any Major League park, including Marlins Park. Maps, menus, order food from your seats, display your tickets, check in with the ballpark app, get special offers and gifts. There it is, right in front of you. MLB.com ballpark app.
Couple of changes. Pollock stays in the game in center. Inciarte moves over and plays left field.
Ichiro takes a strike. Well, the Marlins find themselves down 2 and 6 outs to get even. Ichiro was at the plate when Echeverria overslid second. The ball club that's lost 4 in a row, 7 of 8. Seen their record dip to 16 and 23.
They'll be second guessing about Mike Dunn pitching to Pollock. The one thing you can go to, though, if you go to numbers, lefties 6 for 27 against Dunn, righties 6 for 24. We talk about it during the course of the year, how he has equal success against both.
Ball and 2 strikes. Arizona's bullpen was really good last night. And tonight, they've got Daniel Hudson in relief of Jeremy Hellickson. Hudson, as we noted, coming off his second Tommy John surgery. A swing and a miss. And down goes Ichiro. And that'll bring D. Gordon up. There's a really nice article, actually a scary article, by Cliff Kokorin in Sports Illustrated, SI.com. Go back on the 11th of May, talking about the injury that Jared Parker had in his 4th rehab start, and that possibly Parker was rushed after his second Tommy John surgery. Parker suffered a broken arm right around the area where they attach the ligament graft. And he also, in that article, talks about how rare it is for especially starting pitchers to come back and make a lot of starts after the second Tommy John surgery. Gordon hits a chopper to first. Goldschmidt steps on the bag. Of all the pitchers that have had 2 Tommy John surgeries, and Hudson a starter by trade, he's in the pen right now. The most starts since the second Tommy John surgery, Chris Capuano, 105. But the drop-off
just started for the Yankees last night.
The drop-off to the next is incredibly steep. Hong-Chi Kuo, 14 starts since. Liner to right off the bat of Prado. Back goes Trumbo. He's there and makes the catch. And A.J. Pollock's home run looks rather large on the scoreboard right now. dealers. And by Florida Coast Equipment, Florida's largest Kubota dealer. Visit us at FloridaCoastEQ.com. 4 runs, 8 hits, the biggest of which, 2-run pinch hit homer by A.J. Pollock. That for the Diamondbacks. And for the Marlins, the Fish a couple of runs on 5 hits and 1 error, and that 1 error opened the door for the first 2 runs of the night. For the Diamondbacks, here is Tuffy Goswitch. Nick Ahmed will follow. Brian Morris hangs in there for his second inning. Saw that man last night, Enrique Burgos.
Burgos with an inning in the game last night. The pitch the 13th.
Got his first major league save last night. And he's looking for number 2 if this score holds.
We talked about their bullpen last night. Kind of a mix and match for Chip Hale.
That one dumped into right center for a hit. Goswitch with a single to right. Tomorrow's starters: Chase Anderson for the Diamondbacks, David Phelps, who's been outstanding as a starter for Miami. Nobody out. Let's see how Chip Hale plays this. Got a pinch hitter on deck in Pennington. Ahmed was bunting. He did bunt and drove in a run with it. A 2-out bunt hit with an RBI back in the 4th. Bunt push foul.
That is the switch hitter, Cliff Pennington, on deck circle. We've seen Chip Hale put a few moves on. Got some runners in motion, put on some bunts.
Morse gets the out. Diamondbacks move the runner, and now Pennington will get the pinch hit. This is not a big bench for Arizona. They've been playing with 4 men on their bench, and obviously when you got 4 men on the bench, it's almost like having 3 guys on the bench, because you've got a reserve catcher that you're loath to use unless it's really an emergency.
And that would be Jordan Pacheco for the Diamondbacks.
So it's Cliff Pennington. Morris falls behind at 2-0. Goswitch away from second. And Chavarria on to first to get the out. So Pennington is retired, and now it's the top of the order and Inciarte. Inciarte goes around. It's 0-1.
Luke just tweeting about wondering how, when we were talking earlier about how the roof opened affects the ball in the air, and it does, but a lot of that depends on how the wind's blowing too.
Chopper over the middle. Gordon sets himself and gets the out. And the Marlins are down 2. Giancarlo Stanton due up. 4-2 Arizona. Marlins Live brought to you by Checkers. Coming up right after the game here on Fox Sports Florida. Giancarlo Stanton's 2-run homer, the only runs for Miami. Post-game sound as well from Dan Jennings' post-game press conference. And the Marlins right now in danger of having this snowball roll another few feet downhill. They've dropped 7 of 8 and dropped 4 in a row.
Giancarlo has driven in 4 of the last 7 runs that the Marlins have scored.
And so Enrique Burgos getting his first save in the big leagues last night is back out tonight. He zips in a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's 0-1. Stanton's home run was to left. AT&T U-verse rewind. Stanton's night tonight. That was the strikeout in the first. That was a fly ball to left. And this was the bomb. Oh-2. Look how far down Gosewich is. And he left it up, and Stanton's liner is caught.
One guy on that whole right side, and Giancarlo finds Paul Goldschmidt.
And so there's one out. Justin Bohr will get the pinch hitting assignment. Look how far off Goldschmidt is.
Everybody else on the left side. Goldschmidt playing halfway between first and second. And he's right there. But that is a great swing. You want to see Giancarlo carry that over. Good sign. Good job tonight the way he swung the bat.
So Bohr up with 1 out in the 9th. And Burgos bends one in for a strike. Bohr has been really good in a pinch.
One last tweet, Rich. I can't help myself. It's just a beautiful little picture. Denise Gil Perez sends a beautiful picture of Penelope Victoria, who turns 4 today. So happy birthday, Penelope.
0-2 coming to Bohr. Pinch hitting for him last year was not great. He really struggled in that role. See Real Muto waiting on deck. 5 for 11 this year. He was 1 for 17 last year. Burgos has gone down with a breaking ball twice. Count evens at 2-2. Andrew Chafin in Arizona's bullpen, just in case the rookie Enrique Burgos were to get in some trouble. That's down. Gosewich held it, and it was close.
Well, it was as close. Might have been a better pitch than the called third strike to Christian Yelich.
Oh, it was. Yelich's was well below the knees. That one at the knee level, but just off. (3-2). And Bohr gets on and trots down to first. And so Miami has life. Chafin may be getting ready for Yelich if this inning progresses. And so that's an indication that Chip Hale is doing this by committee, because he's got a safety net with the lefty out there.
Well, he has Chafin with no saves this year and no career saves as a major leaguer. No saves as a minor leaguer.
Woo! 0-1. Real Muto splits. Bohr's at first. 0 for 3 is Real Muto. Homered last night. Fastball in. You know, he doesn't look like he's throwing that hard, but it comes out at 97.
Yeah, with ease. There are not a lot of guys who can do that. And it just kind of comes out. Jose Fernandez comes out with ease.
Real Muto chased that one up and in.
A guy like Matt Harvey, the Mets, comes out easy.
That four-seam fastball that stays up and runs in. One and two. There is Yelich. And he got him on a breaking ball. So Burgos has 2 outs. And let's see if Chip Hale lets Burgos pitch to Yelich.
A little spin to it. The slider.
Randi Vision Cam. Well, it looks like Yelich will hit. Burgos will face him. Bohr's going to take second. And there's strike one. Miami down to their last out. Yelich at the plate. What a tough luck night for Yelich. A scorching shot to short for an out. That liner that ended up on the track with the stumbling Inciarte. That saved a couple of runs, that catch. And then he was rung up on a pitch that was well below the knees on a delayed call by Dan Bellino, the home plate umpire. That was in the 7th. Tomorrow night starter, David Phelps. And Yelich, with that good strike zone recognition, takes up. It's 2-1. Morse is on deck. That's way out, and it's 3-1. Now remember, we were talking about Burgos had not saved a game in the big leagues until last night. Chafin, who was up in the bullpen, hasn't saved a game. What is a professional, right?
As a professional.
Chip Hale's had to piece it together all year long. 3-1. Yelich chases.
Not the pitch Christian Yelich was looking for. 3-1. He expected that 97-mile-an-hour fastball, and he got 91.
So the count's full. Yelich into center field, a base hit. Bohr will stop at third, and Miami has him at the corners. Here comes Morse with 2 outs. Pollock quick to get there, and there's no need to end the game with Bohr at home plate.
I guarantee, as well as Christian Yelich hit that ball, and he's hit the ball well all night, as he sees the shortstop making a dive, he's thinking he's got a chance to catch it the way things have gone for him. So good to see that ball go up the middle. The inning extends. Michael Morse gets to the plate.
Morse tonight has had some good swings. A line drive single to center, bounced to short, and then he lined out to right. Mike Harkey, pitching coach for the Diamondbacks. Now Chafin sits down, and there's a new arm warming up in Arizona's pen. Just to add to the intrigue here. Diamondbacks have right-hander J.C. Ramirez up.
You can always tell from a distance if it's Ziegler.
So here's Morse with 2 outs in the 9th. Down a couple. Fastball up and in at 98. He's having trouble locating the fastball. Do you guess and sit on a breaking ball?
Yeah, he threw a couple of breaking balls to Christian Yelich. Remember the 3-1 slider he threw to it.
Changed speeds and got the strike. It's 1-1. Barely got the strike. Bohr at third, Yelich at first. 2 outs, bottom 9. Arizona by 2. Pitch is out, and it's 2-1. And Enrique Burgos is experiencing some turbulence out there on the mound. outfield deep. Very good speed with Yelich at first. If Morse is able to hit one in a gap, Miami has a chance to tie it with 2 outs here in the 9th. Breaking ball crept over the plate. It's 2-2.
And his slider is not a big one. It's just tight. It's firm, but it's not a big breaking slider.
Two. Morse to right, towards the line. And it's into the seats. Ramirez is ready, so is Chafin. 2-2 to Morse. Miami down to their last strike. Burgos. Got him. Chased the breaking ball. And the Diamondbacks win game 2. And Miami's slide continues. The Fish have dropped 5 straight. And 8 of 9. And Enrique Burgos came into this series without having saved a game in the big leagues. And in 24 hours, he's got 2. A.J. Pollock, the difference in this one. 2-run pinch hit homer. And Arizona wins it by a score of 4-2. Four runs, 9 hits for the Snakes. 2 runs, 6 hits for the Marlins. Marlins Live is coming up.